Day 12. Give it up for day 12. Alright, man. I'm not playing any games today. We're getting right into it. Alright, that's the last game I'm going to play. Let's get into it. Standard deviation, man. Standard deviation is oh my god, we rallied today, bro. No retrace? Oh yeah, let me share screen. No freaking retrace, dude. Alright. But yeah. Standard deviation. I lightweight want to clear my charts, but screw it. Standard deviation, finding it is relatively simple. The whole concept of it is relatively simple, but it should be a part of like all your trades. So, first of all, for standard deviation, you're gonna need to set up a fib. So, this is how my fib is set up. You can make it, when you make it minus, it's gonna show up on the bottom, because obviously it's minus. So if you want to show up on top, you can flip it like I do, or you can just do no minus. I don't know why I did minus, but yeah, man. So standard deviation, pretty much, you're just taking the range of a manipulation leg, the low to the high of the manipulation leg, or I guess in this sense it would be the high to the low of the manipulation leg, and then based on that, standard deviation is pretty much just like how far price is expected to go based off that manipulation leg. And it's algorithmic, it's just coded, it happens all the time, it's very consistent. And whenever these levels, like basically a 0.5 standard deviation is obviously half of the range of the manipulation leg. One standard deviation would be a whole range of the the whole range of the manipulation leg. So if this was the manipulation leg, this is the exact same size as the manipulation leg. And then the zone that like everyone pays the most attention to is 2 to 2.5. I don't know if ICT said it, but I remember hearing it somewhere that 2 to 2.5 is like the dead zone. Like that's where the standard deviation is most consistent. Like that's typically where we'll go on standard deviation. There's some people who only have 2 and 2.5 on their chart or on their little tool, because it's like that's just like notoriously the best target to aim for. But what I mean by manipulation leg, hi Kamal. But what I mean by manipulation leg is like, for example, this right here is a great example of manipulation leg. So obviously we went up. Before we went up, we had to manipulate it down. We manipulated down to OTE, and once we broke above the move down, that pretty much just confirms it as a manipulation. Why does it say that? I can add text on the line this entire time? Whoa, that's actually sick. Alright, but anyways, so you measure the range from this low to this high. I mean, I guess that would technically be the manipulation, huh? I don't know. I'm just going to do this. So these are the down closed candles. Actually, it's probably going to be more accurate to find down lower time frames. But, yeah. So, that's your manipulation leg. And you can just use these levels as targets. So, like, right now, it's a great time to talk about standard deviation because we're at all-time highs. But like now that we're at all-time highs, people always ask like, how do you trade all-time highs? Like, how do you even know where to take profit and stuff like that? You use standard deviation, bro. Like if we were at all-time highs here, and this was the long, let's say there's nothing else, no price action to the left above this. This is all-time highs. You can use this for TPs. You could have TP'd at 0.5. You could have TP'd at 1. Like, look at where we hesitate, bro. Doing all this pushing, where do we hesitate? Well, actually, let me, bro. How do I? Dude. There we go. Wait, not that one. Where is it, dude? Alright. Oh, okay, I'm about to tweak out. Wait. God, I'm retarded. Alright, but basically, I use every point, like every 0.5 and 1, so half in every whole. So I'd use 0.5, 1, 1.5, but in between each of these is still a standard deviation. Like between 0.5 and 1, there's a 0.75 standard deviation. And if you look, that's like probably to the tick where we like came to a hole after pushing above these highs. Well, you can't really see, it's messy, but still, I'll just stick with the whole number so it's easier. But yeah, like I said, me personally, my preference is every half and whole number, so that's what I do. There's a 1.5 standard deviation here. Obviously today we just rallied insanely, so there's not like a great example for me. I'm gonna pull up another one, but just the manipulation leg. Once we get above where the manipulation started, that is considered the manipulation leg. You measure it, boom. We halted right at the 1. We stopped right at the 2. That's where we ended for the day. We didn't make it to all-time highs, but look at where we stopped, pretty much to the tick on the day. It's the second standard deviation. So it's not really a alright, dude. So I'm getting clowned in my own Discord. Alright, but yeah, I mean, it's not really complex. I'm gonna show a ton of examples because it's not complex. Manipulation leg, measure the manipulation leg. I use every half and every whole number for my standard deviation, and you use it for TPs, and it can kind of like make a certain trade. It makes certain trades higher confluence when the standard deviation aligns with the liquidity. Like here, the second standard deviation was pretty close to all-time highs, so that kind of confirms that as a good target because it's close to the standard deviation. This high was also pretty close to the first standard deviation, so that makes it a pretty good target. But yeah, just use it for TPs. I want to show on the 1 minute time frame because that's where I noticed it to be like insanely accurate. Like on this manipulation here, this probably perfectly aligned with that, the equal highs, pretty much. Alright, dude, come on. That's good enough. But yeah, like on the 1 minute time frame, this was the manipulation before we started our move up, and look how it pretty much perfectly aligns with the half standard deviation. And I know it's very minimal, but look what happened when we got to the first standard deviation. That is right where we started to pull back. I want to see what we did when we got higher. And then you can see here, from this manipulation, like I said, the 2 and 2.5 are like the highest probability. Like that's what most people look for when they're looking at standard deviation. And this high was directly in between 2 and 2.5. So just, it qualifies things as better targets, but I want to find a better day because today we just rallied like a stupid amount. So let's see what we did with this one. I really want my eggs and bakey, man. I really do. I really want my eggs and bakey. Huh. I want my eggs and bakey. Alright, I'm tweaking. I'm tweaking, my bad. Let me turn off this stupid magnet. Dang, so close. I thought this was going to be like a textbook example. But, I mean, obviously eventually books, but I want like a textbook example. I wish I didn't stop using standard deviation because I would have like examples ready to go. But, because I want to find like a higher time frame example, because you can use it for bias, but you can also use it like for your entries and for your take profits and things like that. So here's another day where we started off with a manipulation. Oh, my magnet's off. So opened up, manipulate to the upside. I'm assuming we had some sort of news, and then you can see how we like perfectly delivered the 0.5 standard deviation and went back up. And that, wait, I mean, I guess it kind of aligned with that, but that wouldn't have been my focus necessarily. This would have been my focus. But what you'll notice most about standard deviation is like if we have a level like here, this is probably where I would have been focused. Like you can kind of predict how far we're going to go past a certain level of liquidity using standard deviation. Like this would have been my target, but look how much further we went past. That's pretty much like right where we stopped. Even though there's this low here, then for value gap and all that stuff, we stopped like right at that standard deviation. Let's find another example. So, I mean, this is pre-market, but same idea. Manipulation to the downside for this liquidity sweep. I remember this day too. That was SMT. So SMT at the lows. You got some relative equal highs. This is your standard deviation. Oh, I mean, this would pretty much be your standard deviation. Manipulation leg down. And what do you know, huh? What do you freaking know? Where do we stop? Where do we stop almost to the freaking tick, dude? Whoop-de-freaking-do, huh? Not almost to the tick. To the tick. Where's the high of day? To the tick. 2.5 standard deviation. Would you use it for entries off the manipulation leg if you missed the initial push-up down? I only use standard... Well, you can use it as a confluence to go short. Like, for example, if you were short bias going into this day... That's what I mean. That's why I'm showing you the 15-minute time frame, because you can use it for bias. So, like, going into the day here, this manipulation happened at... before market opened. So market opened here. We already delivered these equal highs, but if you have a reason to go higher, like if you had to draw higher, I'm not going to look right now because I don't want to like have to sift through again. But let's assume there was a level of liquidity somewhere up here in the 2 and 2.5 standard deviation, but we already took out these relative equal highs. That would mean we have a draw higher, and we haven't delivered the 2 to 2.5 standard deviation yet. So this can keep you in line with the market and keep you going long. But let's say now you're at PM session, and now your draw is short. And we've already delivered the 2 to 2.5 standard deviation. You see us slowing down. That can now give you an additional confluence to go short. So when I use it on the 15-minute time frame and above, I'm using it for confluences and I'm using it for bias. Yeah, when there's that's why this freaking class was like perfectly timed. I didn't even do it on purpose. But we're about to take all-time highs, and yeah, when you are looking for TPs, you can aim for standard deviation. But yeah, so when you're using it for bias, you can use it in two ways. You can use it for delivering to the standard deviation, and you can also use it for delivering away from the standard deviation. And this is a great example of both. Like I said, this manipulation leg happened before market open. Manipulated down, swept this liquidity, filled the rest of this imbalance, and then we went back above the high of the manipulation leg, so it is now confirmed as a manipulation. And obviously, like I said, we have some sort of draw higher. But also pay attention to how this 0.5 standard deviation, literally to the tick, aligned with this high. Like if we were trading down here and we were trading before market open for whatever reason, that would make this level insanely high confluence because we already had relative equal highs and we already liked it. But now, literally to the tick, 0.5 standard deviation aligns. That's a great setup. But then on top of that, I mean, yeah, perfectly delivered to 2.5. Bro, you can't say this stuff is an accident. And I'm not going to pull it up, but you can obviously see we after we pushed up to here, we stopped at the 1.5, like probably to the tick here. And then, but I mean, like the reversal was literally to the tick at 2.5, bro. That is just gorgeous. But yeah. So now, I mean, I've showed you pretty much the two ways that I use it for bias, but I want to show you specifically how I use it for entries. I want to find a better day than freaking today because all we did was rally. But I mean, I already pulled up the 1 minute example from today, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Yeah, because the 0.5 aligned with this high. Okay. So I want to find a better example. I can't believe we're edging this right now. I really don't want us to get it in Asia. I want us to go down. So let's go to yesterday, see if there's a good setup. Today's Wednesday. Tuesday. So here's Tuesday. I think it was PPI. Yeah, it was PPI. Let's look for a good manipulation. Here's a good manipulation. So we manipulate it down into this fair value gap, swept that liquidity right here. Turn on my magnet so it's really precise. And then you can see 0.5 literally to the tick almost. Oh no. Yeah, like literally 2 ticks off from that high right here. So the last relative equal high in the stack right here, the 0.5 lined up with it perfectly. So that could have been your TP because of that. But also, look. Wait, hold on. Who is this dude, bro? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, this is Eva. I'm calling on behalf of ACL. You want to record a line as a segregate?
Yeah, you can suck my whole dick, dude. I need to block that number. They keep calling me. Alright. I feel bad for hanging up in people's faces, bro, because I used to do cold calls, and that stuff hurts, but, like, leave me alone, bro. Alright, but yeah, like I said, 0.5 standard deviation lined up with these relative equal highs perfectly, and then look at where we reverse, bro. Perfectly at the first standard deviation. So remember how I told you it can tell you how far we're going to go above highs? I mean, the one standard deviation. Like, if you were holding a partial, like, if you only partial at these relative equal highs, and you were holding for further, this would be another great place to partial. And then even later on, like, where did we deliver to? The 2.5 standard deviation. So it's just clean, bro. It's clean stuff. But let's look for, was that at market open? Okay, yeah, it was. And that's even better. It was a manipulation off of open volatility. So that's even better. But yeah, that's textbook stuff right there, bro. I can't believe I stopped using standard deviation. It's so good. Pause my OBS? Oh, because of the call? Nah, bro. I keep it real, I keep it raw. They can see all that stuff, dude. Alright, let's find another day. Or we can probably find another example right here, to be honest. Yeah, even this little bit of example right here. Swept the relative equal highs. I can almost guarantee there's going to be a perfect setup here. Let's see. But swept the relative equal highs. This is coming off the first standard deviation. And then that would be our manipulation leg now. Let's see. See if this did it. So a great place to partial, this low here, perfectly aligned with the first standard deviation. It's a very, very safe place to partial. We delivered probably to the tick right here to the 1.5, and then we were gone. So it's just when you see the standard deviation line up with levels, I feel like it just makes a really high confluence. But even standalone, like, standard deviation just delivers so consistently. I mean, I'm sure someone who read like every single Reddit forum in the world on ICT and all this stuff probably has like a more complex way to use it, but this is how I use it, and I'm showing you like it's insanely consistent. But let's go to another day, just in case you don't believe me yet. Dun 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 dun. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I want to keep you raw. Dude, that's illegal. AKA Adenomics. Yes. Exactly. Yes. He's a phenomenal trader. He's one of the best traders I know. But he is a nerd, right? You can be a great trader without being a nerd. You got to put in the work, like I said, bro. I freaking used to get 10 hours of chart time a day. But yeah, I'm not trying to read all those Reddit forums and all that BS. You don't need all that. But let's find another one. Boom. I mean, this probably, like I said, probably perfectly delivered to the 1.5, and the 1.5 is to the tick aligned with this low. But oh no, it didn't hit. But me personally, in this situation, I am taking off at the first standard deviation because it is right below these relative equal lows. So, I mean, I'm closing here because it's close to the first standard deviation. But even though we went lower, look at where we stopped. Like, look at where we stopped before the retrace. It's at the first standard deviation. Boom. Came back down. We probably hit the 1.5. I need to freaking put it on here. Bro, when I hit backspace, I expect the number to go away, dude. Oh my god. Alright. Bro, I can't put the number 1 in here? Oh my god. How many times did I just do that until it worked? Oh my goodness. Alright. So yeah, I was correct. Where's my line at? Oh, I'm tweaking. It's all the way up here. But yeah, to the tick, bro. My screen lag is gonna. Oof. To the tick, we pulled to 1.5. In this situation, I would have expected us to get that low, but what I'm saying is, bro, you can't deny how algorithmic this is, bro. Like, it's perfect. Like, it's literally perfect. We drop, perfectly respect this first standard deviation. That's where we retrace. We drop, perfectly respect this 1.5. And like I said, even though in this situation I would have expected us to get that low, it still doesn't change the fact that we perfectly respected 1.5 standard deviation. Like in this scenario, that's probably where my TP is going to be just because that's where it is. But more often than not, we would take that low in this scenario. But still, look how perfect that is, bro. My goodness gracious. You saw it? I saw what? It is illegal for you guys to flirt, by the way. But let me let's find another one. If you guys are whispering about me, on God, you guys are both getting clapped. Wait, not like that, but like you're getting like you're gonna get fought. And this dude throws out a tongue emoji. Alright. Now let's find another one. One more day. Just to, you know what I mean? Just solidify it in your noggin. Friday, I want to look specifically at open just because it's clean as a bean. So, I mean, that's open. I'm sure there's going to be something here, but I'm more so looking at this. Obviously, like I said in every video I've ever made, everything I show you has to align with your drawn liquidity. So, none of this matters if you don't know where your drawn liquidity is. But, yeah, let me see. 1.5 is almost to the tick aligned with this high, so that'd be a pretty comfy long. We delivered to the 2, and then that's when we start to drop just a little, even though we didn't completely reverse. That's where we drop, and then what do you know? We get to the 2.5. That's where we come to a halt. That's where we start to retrace. And then what I'm more interested in, so there more trades. But what I'm more interested in is this right here, because that's where the main move of the day was. But when there's when there's long ranges, like you'll notice all of the retraces are happening at these standard deviations. So first standard deviation hits, that's where we get our retrace back to this fair value gap. We dump. 1.5 delivers, that's where we get our retrace back into this fair value gap. We dump. 2.5, the 2 to 2.5 delivers, that's where we get our retraces for value gap. We dump again, and I would almost put my life on it that this is probably the 3 standard deviation, like somewhere right here. I guess I'll pull it up. Alright, come on. There we go. Yeah, so there's the 3, that's where we get our retrace, then we dump to the 4, and that should be low day. Every retrace on this dump, every single retrace on this dump started from a standard deviation and then delivered the 4th standard deviation. That's low of the day, and 4th standard deviation lined up with the slow. But yeah, man, I mean that should be enough examples for it to be deep into your noggin. Just a quick recap. You use the standard deviation on 15-minute, or I use the standard deviation on 15-minute time frame and above to help with bias. If a drawn liquidity aligns with a standard deviation, I feel more comfortable on that level. Or if we're rejecting from a certain standard deviation, like an example I showed where we perfectly were slowing down at a 2 to 2.5 standard deviation, and I have a drawn liquidity lower, I can use it as a confluence to go short or like to reverse as well. And then on lower time frames, that's just when you see those levels align with levels of liquidity or fair value gaps, it's just a good place to take profit. Because like on that last example I just showed you, literally every single retrace came from a standard deviation. So it's just it's a good place to take profit. But yeah, man, I mean, for me at least, it doesn't get much more complex than that, so that's all I got. But yeah, man, I mean, watch this video, dream of me at night, just, you know what I mean, do what you gotta do to just get this in your brain. If it involves me in your sleep and you imagining certain things, like, I'm okay with it if it helps you learn. So just do it, bro. But yeah, that's it, man. Day 13 tomorrow. Bye. Kawaii.